Okay, so the idea behind this video is kind of you've probably done redstone in Minecraft, so you've got this idea about, so you already know really about logic gates and stuff like that, but probably done it without using actual coding. Now, what I've got here is a very basic scene. There's two lamps which are downloaded from the asset store, and also a door. Okay, they don't really match that well, but what I've also got is a cube. Okay, and I've got the cube just because it's slightly simpler than the two lamps that I've downloaded. Now if I click on play, um, okay, so now we have the scene, and if I just click on the box, a light comes on, and it's the same with the other two lights. And if I click again, okay, nothing actually happens. So what that is I guess you could call it either a trigger or a collider. If you're playing a game, there are triggers that, so you step on something or you go near something and something happens. So any game that you're playing at the moment, it would be full of triggers and things like colliders. Now, the reason for doing this is to just go over again kind of logic gates and also operators, or and, so and or in programming. But also even just taking it to the next step when you're playing in a game. You should hopefully see how easy it is to actually create a scene. Now if I click on that block, or that cube, sorry, the door could open. Okay, and then you walk through the door and you go to another scene or another level, and that's it. That is how you would start to make your basic game, or even not so basic game. But okay, so to start with, what I've done is I've downloaded these two lamps, like say from asset store. So you just click on that. I put price 0, obviously, so you do filter. So make sure it's free only. And I just downloaded a free light. The only problem with that is it actually comes, you've got sort of quite a few different parts to that light. So you just have to make sure which bit are you going to actually click for something to happen. Now what I'm going to do is just try and demonstrate this, the code behind this. So we're clicking on the light and then something is going to happen. So you click on the cube. So hopefully by now you know how to add a cube. So you just 3D objects, and then as well as that you've got lights and point lights. So you would drag the point light on top of the cube, which is what I've just done. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that one. Now the coding behind that, so as you should know, hopefully you do create, new, and then C# script. I'm going to click on this one. Right, and this is what you've got. So you will take away everything that you've got in that program when it first loads. So you'll take away the startup and the update functions, and then you've got this. Okay, so it's like a built-in function, on mouse down. Okay, so when you click your mouse down, you're going to get something to happen. Now what you've got here at the top, public game object my light. It's public. Okay, in fact, so when you've got public there, what that means is, I'm just going to click on this cube. There you go. Because it's public, it's then available when you go back to Unity and click on Inspector. You will see that. So you'll be able to do something with it. That variable that you've declared there, okay, you can then get to it. So what you do is you click, so you just type that in. You make this function here. Okay, on mouse down, open brackets and closing brackets, and then literally you just type this in. So you've called it my light, so it'd be my lights, and then you're going to set active. Okay, and you're going to set it. So at the moment, if I come back to here, at the moment that light is actually unticked. So at the moment it's not active. So you can actually make it active or inactive from the inspector. So I'm going to turn it off to start with. You go back to your code and your code will then switch it on. Okay. Okay. So now you've seen, and that's the theory. That is how you get something to interact. So what I could do is just do the opposite of what I've just done actually. Switch the light on, and this time when you click it, it will be false. Okay. Okay. Oh, lovely. It's actually good when I think I've probably just done the code wrong. Oh, that doesn't look right. Yep. So one of the problems with doing this is I might be doing another language about 10 minutes before this, and I'm still in the mode of the language that I've just been doing. So okay, so we and I spelled light wrong. So you're setting the active to okay. I'm just going to take that. Okay, just change that back as it was. Okay, so that's okay, and then just go back to the inspector and switch that off. Now, I think what I'll do is just untick these lights here. And probably actually I'll just duplicate, just to save. It's probably a bit simpler if I just duplicate the cube. I'll just move one over to this side. Okay. They've got different lights. Just click on that. I'm just going to need to make sure that where I've got the code, I'm just dragging the point light onto that one. So I'm just going to see what happens now. Okay, yeah, I thought I might have an error. Left hand must be a variable. What's going on here? Actually, I can see that would be very unusual, I think, to have equals and then in brackets. So that should fix it. So I'll compile, go to game. Okay, click and click. Lovely. Okay, so if I click again, it doesn't work. Now, sorry, when I say it doesn't work, it doesn't switch it off, but there is quite a quick way you can actually do that. If I go back to the code, right. Now what you're going to do is almost say do the opposite of what is true at the moment. And this is kind of like where we had the NOT gate when we were doing logic gates. Now, so rather than just say true, light.setActive not make it set hang on, my mouse is just actually I think I'm going to take that out. My light dot I think that's it. If ever you're not sure, you can always. Unity does have quite a good forum for these type of things. I think that's right. I'm just going to try it. Okay, looks okay. If it works, what should happen then is it will set it active. So this one here says not my light active self. Basically, that means not. It's like a NOT gate. So it's doing whatever the opposite of whatever is true at the moment. So in theory, it should act like a light switch. Is that working? Okay. Okay, the moment of truth is click again. Lovely, it's worked. I'm always surprised when things work. Yeah, lovely. So it basically is doing, it's a NOT gate, so it's doing, you click on it and it's doing the opposite. So it's inverting whatever is at the moment. So if it's on, it's off. Fantastic. Okay, so that means we can go on to the next step, which is like an AND gate or an OR gate. So this is basically an AND or an OR gate now. So for example, if both lights were on, then the door would open, something like that. So now we've got this, the basic setup. We can then do the next step. I think what I'll do is just save this video, and then in the next one just look at how we would do the code for actually creating a real life AND gate and a real life OR gate. Okay.